Okay, so picture this. The dust has just settled on a battlefield. A city has been conquered, but not by some foreign enemy. No, this was a brutal civil war. And now the victorious commander stands before the defeated, and what he says next? It's an absolute masterclass in control and conviction. So let's break down this incredibly powerful sermon, delivered at a moment in history that was just electric.
And he just opens with this. I mean, no preamble, no apologies, nothing. Just this direct, powerful claim. Wow, this single line is pretty much the core thesis of the entire speech we're going to explore. It just establishes his perspective right from the get-go. I am the guide, and you are the ones who are lost.
So, where are we exactly? What's the context here? Well, this sermon was delivered by Ali ibn Abi Talib right after the Battle of the Camel. And this wasn't just any battle. It was one of the first and, frankly, most traumatic civil wars in Islamic history. We're talking about close companions of the Prophet fighting each other. He's speaking to the people of Basra, a city that was literally the center of the rebellion against him. So yeah, context is everything here.
Now, you might think this is going to be your typical victory speech. A lot of gloating over a defeated enemy. But it's not that at all. It's a diagnosis. He sees the crowd in front of him not as evil people, but as folks who were tragically misled. In his mind, their choices are what led to all this terrible conflict. And his speech is basically his attempt to explain what went wrong and, just as important, offer a new way forward. All right, so now that the scene is set, he moves right into his core accusation. He frames their failure not as them being malicious, but as a kind of spiritual and political blindness. A blindness that he, of course, is now here to cure.
And here's exactly how he puts it. He says they followed the loud shout, this deafening, overwhelming cry, while totally ignoring his own gentle voice of quiet counsel. It's such a powerful critique, right? How easily people can be swayed by loud, flashy rhetoric instead of quiet wisdom. I mean, does that sound familiar at all? It's a theme that feels just as relevant today as it was back then.
And then he makes it personal. This wasn't some big surprise to him. He's essentially saying, look, I saw this coming a mile away. I saw the signs of your betrayal. I saw how you were being tricked all along. And that just adds this whole other layer of deep personal disappointment on top of the political tragedy.
So, you might be wondering, how did he see it when so many others didn't? Well, he accuses them of hiding their rebellion under a cloak of religion, basically using faith as a cover for what they were really doing. But he says his own sincere intentions, his sincerity of heart, that's what gave him the clarity to see right through that disguise.
Okay, so after diagnosing their blindness, he pivots to the solution. And for him, it's simple. There is only one true source of guidance: himself and his family.
And he illustrates just how pointless their efforts were with this incredible metaphor. He says, you met, but you had no guide. You dug, but you found no water. Just think about that. All your work, all that struggle, it was for nothing. Why? Because you were digging in the wrong place, you were listening to the wrong people.
And this contrast just puts his entire argument in such sharp relief. You've got, on one hand, without us, you're lost in darkness. You're digging for water and finding nothing. And on the other hand, through us, you're guided to the highest peak, led right out of the darkest night. He's basically presenting them with a super clear black and white choice.
So, okay, what's the foundation of his authority here? Why should they believe him over anyone else? Well, he builds his credibility on one simple, incredibly powerful idea: his own absolute, unwavering certainty in his cause.
And this declaration is really the crucial point. I mean, think about it. In a world filled with chaos, deception, and civil war, he claims to have zero doubt. He's not guessing. He's not just hoping he's right. He is certain. And that absolute conviction, that's what he presents as his #1 qualification to lead.
And he clarifies what he's fighting for with this really incredible analogy. He says his fear is like the fear of Moses. Now remember, Moses wasn't afraid for his own skin when he confronted Pharaoh's magicians, right? He was afraid that the people would be fooled by their illusions, by their trickery. And that's exactly what the speaker is saying here. I'm not afraid for myself. I'm afraid of a world run by the ignorant, a state ruled by the misguided.
So all of this, it's all building to the sermon's climax. This is where he brings the entire conflict, all the fighting, all the arguments, down to a single moment of choice for every single person listening. He places them and himself at a fundamental crossroads. And he uses this really effective, dramatic pause. The battle's over. The arguments have been made. Today, right now,
In this very moment, we stand together. And there it is, the ultimate choice. No third option, no middle ground, no gray area. You're either on the path of truth or you're on the path of falsehood. And yeah, he spent this entire sermon making it crystal clear which path he represents. He ends with this beautiful, profound metaphor, circling all the way back to that image of digging for water. So what's the reward for following him? Certainty. He says, one who is certain of water does not thirst. The promise isn't just winning a battle. It's the end of that desperate search for truth. It's about quenching doubt itself. Pretty powerful stuff.
And so we're left with this question that just echoes down through history, way beyond this one battlefield, right? The speaker offered a gentle voice, a warning that he says was ignored, and it led to disaster. So this whole sermon kind of leaves us to wonder, when a warning is ignored, who's really to blame? The person who shouts the loudest, or the people who choose to listen to them?